Wintertime here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a great time to knock out some of those boating projects you've been holding off, like reapplying some bottom paint to your vessel. Welcome back, guys. It is your boy Broncos Guru, and it is this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Our first subject we're going to talk about this week is going to be that art of docking and launching. This really is one of the more difficult things for people to master. For whatever reason, people struggle down at the boat ramps or struggle when they're trying to approach docks with their vessels. One of the biggest reasons I think this is so difficult is I think nobody actually practices this. When's the last time you actually went down to your marina or dock and actually saw somebody sitting there doing nothing but doing approaches to the dock and pulling back off? It really just does not happen. And then most people only have to do this once at the beginning of the day and once at the end of the day, so it's not something they're doing a whole lot while they're out on the water as well. But still, there's some funny incidents that happen here, so much so we even started our own channel called the Miami Boat Ramps channel. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, go ahead and check it out. These are all images from that channel. But something we do neglect here in the United States is the fact that we typically do have nice boat ramps and launches to launch from. In a lot of other areas, they got to become a little bit more inventive on how they do things, and sometimes a little more inventive on how they dock their boats and where they keep their vessels in general. Some people don't like the idea of the boat ramp so much that they'll actually go use the professionals and make their life a little bit easier by letting somebody else handle their boat and take care of the whole process of getting it in and out of the water. And I can definitely understand why some people do this. The boat ramp itself can be a high stress situation, especially when you've got a lot of people watching you, and nothing's more embarrassing than heading down to the boat ramp and having a premature launch. Just like in this situation here. I mean, look at my man's wife on this jet ski. There's no way she's satisfied with his premature launch. And it's not just rookies who will be out there having a tough time at the dock. Sometimes even the professionals will have a tough time with high winds and seas trying to approach a dock where they just can't get things to go quite their way and things will get a little out of hand.
I can imagine how frustrating it is when they're doing works on one side and fuckwits of boats are doing it the other side. Now, this is a conundrum when it's high tide and everybody has to put their boats in the water and the other ones want to put their boats out of the water. Heaven only knows what you go through in Miami, but in Australia, in Jack as well, this is what actually happens. Everybody has got to be a fucking hero.
That last clip was sent in from Peter Reuter down at his local boat ramp in Australia, and I understand his frustration of having to launch from a busy boat launch, and many of us here in the United States have figured out other ways of doing that. Maybe we'll go for a little more rural kind of launch like this guy. Our next subject we're going to talk about today is the art of looking cool out on the water. Some people have this down pat. Some people get out there and no matter what they do, they just look great out there having a great time on the water. And then there's the rest of us. That's right, the rest of us, we go out there, think we're making some cool poses, trying to make a cool video, and things just never seem to go our way. The ideas always sound good in our mind, like, hey, videotape me doing this, or hold my beer and watch that, and anytime we see that, we already know something fun's about to happen. Or we decide we're going to get on that new trend of tossing the beverage over the bridge and we're going to catch it on the way back down, but it just never works out exactly as we planned. But some people have it even worse, because as amateurs on the water, we can get away with a lot, but when you're the professionals on the water and things go wrong, it's always even worse. Kind of like here where this guy was called in to actually go rescue that sailboat, and well, now he's the one who's in need of rescue as well. And what do you know, speak of holding my beer and watch this kind of moments. I somehow get the feeling that one had to hurt a little bit. Speaking of having to hurt a little bit, there's nothing like getting out there with your friends and trying to get the boat over on lean as much as you can to look as cool as you can on the water, and well, sometimes that can be a little painful as well. And then there's always those moments on the water of self-inflicted pain, where you know something's just not a good idea, but you go ahead and do it anyway. Certainly our guys never read the warning sticker that actually comes on the back of a jet boat, because if you ever actually read it, he probably would not have attempted that jump and maybe thought twice about the types of injuries that can occur. And as we talked about earlier, it's always difficult to look cool down at the boat ramp, but you know what? Sometimes you'll go down there, pull your boat out, it'll be a little bit crooked, and you'll still be able to come in clutch for the save and wind up looking cool in the end. And it never fails, if you're down there at the boat ramp trying to impress the girls with your skills, you're always going to wind up looking a little silly. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening in your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Oren Yahoo 12345, Kyle Huber, Peter Reuter, Adam Coolidge, Calumet IS did this week, and also our Miami Boat Ramps channel as well. I'll leave a link in the description below to access that channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.